what went wrong with the Errol Spence camp going into the fight with for Errol Spence. On one note, and then on the flip side, he has this don't want to hear. And to me, he's worse than these, like, for real. He worse than these damn non-blacks. I mean, for the most part, Canelo accepted his loss to Terrence Crawford better than Errol Spence did. All you've been hearing from Errol Spence and his apologists. Could you imagine if Bud had lost and was making the excuses that we've been hearing from Errol Spence the past 3 years? You would never hear the end of it. But at the end of the day, um, what Spence is doing is trying to give his fans a lifeline to basically say, well, I lost, but this happened. At the end of the day, you got beat. Now, keep in mind, Errol Spence did an interview with Dre, basically saying that he didn't get any sparring in. This happened, saying that the camp was trash and this, that, and the third. And me and him and his friends, because they can't, and that's all it come down to. You got your ass whooped, and you just need to accept it and respect it because it was 3 years ago. Okay, you've been retired pretty much for two and a half years before you decided to get back in the ring. You had a rematch clause. You decided not to exercise it. So, the expiration date to exercise your rematch clause expired. So Terrence Crawford had every right to move on with his career. Now, Derek James basically responded to um, the allegations that, he didn't get any sparring in. Now, he claims he had a rib injury, but Derek James, 14 to 16 rounds. And then, the workout, he said he, you know, he was basically training and working with Spence as if he was fighting a southpaw. So basically, Derek James is saying Errol Spence is lying. And he said that basically that the PBC got those people together for Spence to spar, which to me, I think last time I checked, you are supposed to be able to pick your own sparring partners as it pertains to his fighters. We see far too much of this. When I say far too much, we see this has just been going on way too long. It's just really time to move on from this. The fight happened years ago. Errol Spence fought, and that's just the bottom line. Now, keep in mind, it was in the contract. If Errol Spence was so hurt, Errol Spence, it was in the contract that he had the right. If there was an injury, both him and Terrence Crawford, if something happened, push the fight up 3 months or up to 3 months. He elected not to push the fight back. So once again, that's on him. So I up there and come up with these excuses on why you lost the fight when you had a chance to push back the fight 3 months. You could have pushed the fight back from, you know, July, I think July the 28th, fall July 28th, July the 29th, something like that. So you could have pushed it back to like, you know, you could have pushed it back to like October. So you elected to go through with the fight. Now, whether his fans are gonna come and say, well, he might have needed the money. Okay. Well, once again, that's on him if he wasn't properly taken care of. So he had ample opportunity to get himself properly prepared. So if he didn't push the fight back, if he knew he was hurt, once again, that still falls on him. So that's why that doesn't make any kind of sense. If you have it put in the contract where if an injury comes, it's coming across to me that what I believe that Errol Spence, to a certain degree, he didn't think that he was going to win this fight. That reality kicked in. I am tired of hearing these excuses. I've been hearing this shit for like 3 years now, and it's just time to move on from this. Enough is enough. Tired of Errol Spence, and Errol Spence is showing what a shady nigga he is. Like, bro, he's just trying to continue to try to. How can any Spence fans say, well, he wasn't 100%, so that's why he lost the fight, but he had a chance to push the fight back? I'm pretty sure Terrence Crawford would have been okay. He would have, and if it's a contract, he really wouldn't have had no choice. I mean, we all agreed when this fight was first announced. We all agreed, fans of Errol Spence, fans of Crawford, we all agreed that run this fight, we will accept the outcome no matter what. And we would hear whoever won the fight. They're still harping over. But a lot of these people, are, apologists, you know, apologists have a soft side and of how he never wanted that. Now, now everybody knows for the most part how him. So we're just continuing to just hear this nonsense. And this is the problem that this is what Errol and this is the problem that this is what Errol Spence is like, goddamn dude, you fucking lost, man. Move on. We don't want to hear this stuff no more. We don't want to hear you trying to discredit Terrence Crawford. You can't have what you would call a backhand compliment and say, okay, well, he deserved to win that night. But then you keep talking about, well, this, that, and the third happened. Once again, it's your fault. Whatever transpired in your camp, that's on you. If you had a rib injury, you should have reported it. You could have pushed back the fight. So therefore, once again, we don't want to hear any excuses about, well, why he lost that fight. You had an opportunity to push the fight back. If it was in your contract that you could push the fight back up to 3 months, you decided to go for that fight. Now, with that being said, that's all I wanted to say pertaining to this. Um, as far as 10 days go, it's it's been brought to my attention that Tank will not be ready to fight anytime this year. That Tank won't be ready for Devin Haney till 2027. Um, Kudos to Devin Haney for basically calling Tank's bluff and spotted that Tank wasn't ready to get in the ring. That basically he was fronting. Um, Tank is going to be 32 at the end of the year. So it's obvious that Tank isn't going to fight, at least not a high profile fight. I've been telling you about this dude, and now people see it. So that's that. Let me move on. This your boy Town. Appreciate you. I'm out.